Guess what, guys? We found more loops. There is a lot to talk about, so I'm just gonna get right into it. There is actually an even easier way of pulling this loop off. I was hesitant to talk about it in the last video because I didn't know the rulings for certain, but I now have 100% confirmation that the auto abilities when these cards attack do not fizzle once they are locked by Ethics Buster, meaning that this Awakening Messiah plus White Dwarf 2-card combo is now a 1-card combo, which makes the loop a lot easier to pull off. This also means that the proposals for ban lists at the end of last video are completely off. And here's the thing, the problem isn't even with Ethics Buster, it's with reverses in general in Link Joker. So what does this mean for the deck list at the end of last video? We can finally play the grade 3 searchers. Here's a bit of a sample deck list just so you can get an idea of how the improved loop deck would be built. As you can see, we are still playing Awakening Messiah. You can cut this down to 2, but this is actually for another loop that is possible in this deck. In terms of cutting Old White Dwarf for these new cards, they both read, when they attack, you can choose a locked card and unlock it, and they get power. The power, again, doesn't matter. The reason this works is because the activation condition when they attack is fulfilled even once the card is locked, so the effect does not fizzle. Therefore, just by opening one of these cards, as long as you're on Ethics Buster, you can go infinite. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna ride our Ethics Buster. Naturally, now that we have 1-card combos in this deck, we can actually open up and play a lot more cards that benefit from the loop. So we can actually get even more infinite number attacks as we go along with our combo. So here's what happens. We attack with our Riddle Biter. Its effect now goes on standby. Ethics Buster now activates and locks Riddle Biter. Then Riddle Biter will activate, unlock itself, and congratulations, it's at stand again. You can do this infinitely. Every time you do this, your Metalias and your Balerothers will go up by 5 and 6k power. Think of the attack triggers kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! When Riddle Biter attacks, its effect is Chain Link 1. Ethics Buster Reverse is then Chain Link 2, resolves first, locks Riddle Biter, then Riddle Biter will resolve and unlock itself. To my knowledge, this is probably the second time I've seen a backwards resolving chain similar to Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Happening in Vanguard. Now, I mentioned yet another loop that this deck has access to. It involves Maelstrom Reverse. There are ways to build more optimally for the Maelstrom loop if you find that you need it more often, but if you want a summary of how it works, Maelstrom Reverse reads, after your rear guard attacked, if it did not hit, you lock one of your standing rear guards, and Maelstrom Reverse will get 10,000 power. Basically, what you do is you have your Awakening Messiah on a circle, and you have your either Riddle Biter or Blast Monk, and at the start of the attack step that Riddle Biter or Blast Monk attacks, you need to have Awakening Messiah somewhere on the field locked. You can accomplish this multiple ways. You can use Demon Maxwell, you can just attack with it, have it miss, lock it, and give Maelstrom some power. So then when your unlocker attacks, you're able to unlock it. The unlocked card is Awakening Messiah, so it stands the card that's attacking, and as long as the attack doesn't hit, you do it again. Basically, if your opponent's at 5 damage, they lose the game. If they're at 4, but you have 2 Awakening Messiahs locked, you can get them to 6 anyways. If you want this explained a bit better, here's a video by Commander Jaime explaining it in depth. He talks about the deck build, some disruptive plays, and a couple other factors that help you pull this combo off. Essentially, the results are an infinitely attacking infinite power rearguard and a infinite power 2 crit 3 drive Maelstrom. Now, regarding what I said in the last video about how your gift markers change when you ride a card with a different gift icon on top of something with a different gift, that is completely untrue. Ruling update 16.311 states, when this imaginary gift resolution is being performed due to riding a unit with an imaginary gift icon, if that unit's master has performed the imaginary gift resolution due to a ride prior to this, and the clan types for that resolution and the resolution being performed are different, the imaginary gift resolution is not performed. So much for trying to spam Excel gifts with Raging Form Reverse. What this does not entail, however, is Chaos Breaker Dragon. Chaos Breaker does not have a gift when you ride it, and specifically gives you force gifts by effect. Think of it like a Nezca in Bermuda. So if you ride something like Ethics Buster, then you ride Chaos over it, and you steal gifts and turn them into forces, you in fact get forces even though you already have Excels. Unfortunately, this is the closest we will ever get to Nova Grappler being a force clan. Now once again, let's talk about some ways we can deal with this in a ban list. Every time I look away from YouTube, there seems to be another 2 infinite loops coming out of reverses in Link Joker. Now apparently in Vanguard 0, when you ride a reverse unit in Link Joker, they lose their effects completely. If this was actually adapted into the TCG, I would be totally fine with it, and we have had much more drastic rule changes in the past. Hopefully these things get restricted soon in premium so I won't have to make another 5 short notice videos like this.
Good morning.